Hello, my name is Joe Parkin, and I'm the First Responder Liaison for Crossroads Health. We are doing a wellness initiative for first responders. In doing so, we are getting out and into the first responding community to create a public service announcement regarding the stress first responders experience and some of the coping strategies to manage the stress. Therefore, we want to go out and find some first responders and what they do personally. Let's start off by introducing our first responders. What's your name?
Brian Valletto.
Kylie O'Brien.
Dan Smith.
Dave Blados.
My name is Gabriel Anania.
Scott.
Sergeant Christopher Newell for the Lake County Sheriff's Office Central Communications.
How long have you been a first responder?
I've been a firefighter paramedic since 2003.
About 18 years.
4 years.
6 years.
6 years.
For a little over 21 years.
Well, between fire and EMS, about 8 years now.
I've been working in Menor Dispatch since June of 2014.
I'm in my 28th year. I've been with the city of Menor for just over 20 years and been a detective will be 14 years this May.
So I take it that you've had your fair share of stressful calls and stressful days.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Probably more than a couple, yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Many.
Yeah, they're here and there.
So, in the short term, what is it that is specific to you that you think you do, or a technique or strategy that you use to decompress from the event or incident?
Well, I mean, obviously it depends on the time of day. If it's like during the day and it's like a really bad call, a lot of times me and the guys will just like talk it out, over like a meal. A lot of times that if we can get that in,
Right.
Otherwise I try to go and weight lift. That's kind of my outlet. And we're allowed to do that for a couple hours a day if we need to, or if we want to rather. And it's just a good outlet for me. It's like get that, doing something physical just makes me feel better.
On the call, I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. It's just do. You just do
Right.
what you need to do. Afterwards, it's probably talking to other officers and firefighters just about what happened. And the report also helps, actually, just going through everything that happened. The other thing that I do individually would probably be that I try to humble myself by talking to kids afterwards. So if I make a big rest, or if there is a high adrenaline thing, there's kids playing outside, I'll go outside and play with them or give them stickers or just talk to them.
Shoot my wife a text and we just had a crappy call, and just air it out a little bit to her.
I usually just try to get some fresh air, just take a minute, reflect, think about, not dwell on, but, was that the best we could do with the information we had? And oftentimes it is the case.
Well, obviously I like to spend time with my family. Okay. Whether we, just play like a game or not at home, or
so like a board game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe we go out and if it's nice out, we'll go outside, go to the park, that sort of stuff.
I like to talk to my coworkers. We're really good about camaraderie up here.
Wonderful.
Talk it out with each other.
I don't really have a set plan on what I do, but I will tell you that in stressful situations, I do value communication, especially communication with my family, my children especially.
Okay.
That's where I kind of find my safe space, where I feel better is calling and talking to my kids after a rough type of call or a situation that we're involved in. And that, that unconditional, loving, caring, real talk helps. And that's what I like to do. Also, and obviously you can't give a bunch of details to your children on something that's extremely graphic, but, I think a great coping mechanism is speaking amongst, staff that you trust and other friends, workers, especially people within the industry, to kind of get a better idea, or at least they'll listen and they can offer some feedback and, reassure you that, what you did to make a difference, was everything that you could do possible, and kind of talk it out and get it off your chest.
I've got a couple different hobbies, whether it's woodworking, watching sports, being with my family. My family, my wife and I have been together for almost 30 years. And she's my rock in that sense that, just simply going out on a walk and sharing my thoughts and feelings, getting that out. So I'm not keeping it in.
So, unlike acute or short-term stress, there is cumulative stress. These are outside influences like our family and friends, our position in life, finances, schedules, competing priorities, and our job as a whole. All those factors total up cumulatively. And when it gets to be too much, what is it that you do or is unique to you so that the last straw doesn't break the camel's back?
So me, I have 4 kids at home, so it's nice to go home, hug your kids, kiss the wife, kind of thing.
Right.
But I'm outdoorsy. I mean, there's a large cattle farm behind my house. I go talk to the cows.
That's nice.
I have somebody who's going to listen and just be right there. I've done different kinds of animal therapies just to see how that goes, because it's a nice outlet, and I found a free one in my own backyard. So I enjoy being outside, just kind of being one with nature in the moment, and talking to somebody who just only knows how to listen.
I love camping.
You love camping?
Being in the nature. I mean, I was a Boy Scout, so I'm kind of like born into camping.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
it's like my escape from reality and society.
I would say most of the time I like to go home and continue a project, usually with my children, or take them somewhere, do something with them, to kind of alleviate that stressor, to not allow that burden to stay with.
Okay.
We do a lot of camping. We like to go to different places. We also ride a lot of ATVs and side by side, stuff like that. And kind of that break free, loosen up period is what alleviates a lot of it.
I don't know if mine would be so unique on this one. I mean, I find a lot of peace in humor, so comedy shows and stuff like that, and then spending time with family and friends and loved ones is a huge outlet. I work out a lot to try and do that. Jiu-jitsu, stuff like that.
Oh, sure. We're around people so much that it's actually nice to get out, get a hike, get some fresh air. I love to go kayaking, fishing. It's just like a real big stress relief for me. It just gives me a chance to decompress.
First and foremost, my kids. I mean, once you see them, your stress is lifted. All you need is I love you, mommy, and your day is so much better.
And do you have any hobbies that you like to do, or something specific to you that you like to do?
I personally like everything outside, so I like to be outside, do things outside, whether it be yard work, camping, riding. Those are the big things I like to do.
Riding what?
Side by sides.
The
up in
ATVs.
like Pennsylvania or West Virginia or places like that. I like to go trail riding and
Anything outside, golfing.
Okay.
Really, any excuse to be outside is usually what I enjoy. So I'll dabble in stuff like kayaking or I'm really up for anything usually, especially if it's outside. So
Okay.
Primarily, I'm going fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I may not look it, but I enjoy rock climbing, which is always been a hobby of mine.
Being off the grid
Being off the grid?
and being able to enjoy nature.
Going hiking and stuff like that. There's a group of firemen that I go with, and we just have a good time. We take trips, like we're going to Montana in July. We've been to Alaska for a couple of weeks, Vermont, New Hampshire. We like to climb mountains, and it's just a real big stress relief for us.
I like to work out.
Wonderful.
I know I have some coworkers that I've convinced to go to the gym with me.
Fantastic.
That always helps.
Fantastic. Is there any other suggestions you have for anyone out there? Some kind of positive coping mechanism that works for you?
I think that the only thing I could say is that, especially now that it's more accepted and it's, it's out there to open up and say that, something's bothering you. Hey, I need to talk to somebody. You could probably find people along the same job path, career-wise, that could give you some advice or kind of feel safe to talk to. And again, I'm going to go back to communication. I think communication is important. Relieve the stress. Don't carry all that burden on your back. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen on a day-to-day that you do everything you can do, and it's not ultimately the best outcome, but those are uncontrollable events. And I think that we're still human, and a lot of that falls back on us being able to cope or accept the fact that the outcome was probably predetermined by somebody way greater than us or whatever you believe in. And we have to figure out a way to accept, cope, talk, and understand that. And hopefully, by talking, maybe we're helping somebody else who's afraid to speak, or, at the same time, maybe we're gaining advice or conversation that would help us kind of relieve those stressors and be able to deal, basically. So communication, I would say, is very important in discussing the things that are bothering you. Don't bottle that stuff up.